Rebels, Raw Rebel Talk here, episode 200. I can't even believe it. Honestly, like I didn't think when I started Raw Rebel Talk I'd be 200 episodes deep. Man, if I could go back, nah, I wouldn't. Anyways, tonight's episode's just late night chit chat. I'm gonna be talking about like some topics that crossed my mind today. Um, like just weird topics. Anyways, so based off of me surfing online and or scrolling online, like sometimes you just be dead scrolling, but then you come up with something or like you come into like mid like discussion in your head about what's going on with the either the the topic that's being told about. I mean, I don't know if that's just me that does that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably do that, but whatever. Anyways, let's go right into this. So, I was watching like I was scrolling and I seen I guess an old podcast. I think it was old of a TI podcast regarding him basically talking about religion, and he interviewed like a few people of different religions, but mainly was talking about that of Christianity. And um yeah, it just kind of boggles my mind because um the things that they were talking about was like how Christianity was given to us by slave masters, and I don't understand why a lot of African Americans still follow it. So it's it's rough, and there were some people on there that made some good points about it, and other people were pretty much saying, this, that, and the third. But I think that um, as far as when it comes to Christianity, that like I said before, pretty much the everything that's in it is like a book. So everything that's in it is a book. I mean, everything that's in it is written by man, and that you can't follow God and follow a book that was not, it's not the word of God. How could it be the word of God if God never wrote it? Right? So, anyways, so I was thinking, and I was thinking and I was thinking, and I was trying to follow basically what I was saying. And uh what I was saying was like basically that I think that religion, if we think about it, when did religion become a thing? Because religion is like loneliness of humans, you know? Like loneliness. Because when did we believe, like, when did we start to believe that we're not alone on this planet? Like, when did we not believe that? When did we start thinking, oh, there's a higher being? Which I'm not doubting the fact that there's a higher being, because obviously the world and our mechanics, I'll say mechanics, are just so well put together that there must be some kind of creator at large. But to think that that creator would come to Earth to visit us, like, let's say you're playing The Sims. Do you ever wish to go into the Sims game and meet the Sims? No, you really don't. So I don't think that a creator or a messiah came to earth. And I think that in all actuality, we're all like really, we're gods within ourselves. And that if we can open up our consciousness, because let's just admit it, that the human brain, majority of it is undiscovered. Like the functioning of the human brain is undiscovered. A lot of it is not really, like is unknown. Scientists are still trying to understand it. So, and that in itself, it's really the brain trying to learn the brain, which is kind of crazy. So, in all actuality, I think higher consciousness is something that we should strive for, not religion. Religion in itself is just, like I said, a construct of a lonely species, like a species that feels alone and they needed something to look outside of itself. If we look inside of ourselves and like focus on our consciousness and try to learn our consciousness, then we could probably tap into something which I think is like higher consciousness, and basically become that, super beings. I think that that's possible, because I know there's humans right now that are capable of doing extraordinary things, extraordinary things, and it's all due to what, their level of consciousness. I mean, we grade it on the fact that, like the IQ test, which is your level of intelligence. But I don't think that, like, your level of consciousness is the same thing as your intelligence. But I could be wrong. I could be, like, your level of intelligence means that, yes, I understand the world. But your level of consciousness is, I understand me. And I think that we have to understand ourselves in order to basically grasp the higher consciousness. And that's why I think that, personally, I believe that those people that have mental illnesses aren't technically mental illnesses. So I think that if we look deeper into, like, for instance, people of schizophrenic, like that have schizophrenic episodes, could very well be just people that are mediums that see dead people and see or see things that we don't know exist. These are things that, this could be a superpower, not actually like a mental illness, like a illness. It could be a level of consciousness that we are supposed to obtain, but we haven't. And that, I think that the fact that a lot of people are nervous of obtaining that type of consciousness, or, oh, you don't like it. No, I understand. It's not something that, like, it's fear. It's fear of the unknown. So, like, okay, if you take, like, if you like they say, if you take like psychedelic drugs. So psychedelic drugs like acid or something like that, and you hallucinate, you're opening up levels of your consciousness, like using parts of your brain that are pretty much aren't attainable normally without the drug. Sometimes that can heal you. Like, it can heal a lot of people. Like, they can come in contact with things that they've left, um, something like the third eye. Yeah, like that, something like that. Um, uh, you can, like, they can see, or, they basically, like, they can see like their traumas or something that they kept buried. They like open up that level or open up that side of themselves, and they see those scary, maybe it's scary images or something, but it's something that maybe is trying to tell you something that you suppressed about your childhood, or something that you don't recall happening to you. And those are the things that are scary because they're unknown. They're unknown to you. You didn't know about it. You don't know about it. Your brain cut it off, or your brain closed it off to protect you. But if you take those psychedelic drugs and then you open your brain up to those things and free your mind, you can see a lot of scary things. But that doesn't essentially mean they're scary. It just means that your brain is accessing, sorry, accessing a part of what could be something that you don't usually use. It is a fear thing. I believe it is. I'm not suggesting anybody go out there and do things like that, but I believe, because I myself have seen things and heard things, and not just seen things, but more of a like my thought pattern knew things and like followed through with things because I thought that that I was in harm's way, which in actuality is just a like a higher level of fear, anxiety. And I had anxiety, and because I probably didn't realize what was going on with me, but I was doing something like reaching levels of higher consciousness, and it was very fearful, and I feared a lot for my life. But I think that, like I said, like you just have to like get through it, and then maybe that's just yourself, your consciousness trying to open up or show you parts of yourself that you kept closed in. So it's very interesting. And coming back to the third eye, so basically, um there's, I don't know how true this is because I was scrolling online, and sometimes online there's a lot of AI stuff, but there's people out there that are using their third eye to see, which means like you can close your eyes but you're not blind. Like their level of consciousness is so high that they obtain the ability to see with their eyes closed, which I have done myself personally. So it's something that I'm trying to obtain again because I lost that sight, but it's something that I'm trying to gain back again because it's a very, I think, very useful tool. Like I think that if you're able to see without sight, and it's basically, how can I put it, like it's basically like you have your eyes closed, but the picture is still there, like of where you are. And how I think of it as your light, your being, the soul, the spirit, whatever you call it, is within you. And when that spirit or soul is within you, your third eye is open, or I like to think that there's two eyes. So it's not just one. Everybody thinks there's one. I like to think there's two. There's actually two eyes. It's a set because your spirit is an image of you. So in that image of you, you see through both eyes. So so both the eyes were open So you can see around you, even though these eyes are closed. And that the reason being is because your spirit is looking through. Your spirit is within you. You are holding on to the grasping your spirit. So that's what I was believing. And that's how people can, when you reach a certain level of consciousness too, your spirit can leave your body. And that's what most people call out of body experience. So I've experienced that too. I've experienced that now twice. Yeah, twice. I've experienced it 2 times. The first time, I didn't know what I was doing. I was unaware. The second time was more of a breach, like somebody came here, not actually a person. It was more like a spirit or a shadow or something like that. And I approached it in my out of body form. And it's very much like how do I put it? Like it's very much freeing. It's like freeing of the mind. When you experience these types of things, you have to first you have to reach that level of consciousness in order to experience these things. Once you experience these things, you'll understand that there's more than we know. There's way more than we know. So yeah, I'm definitely not suggesting anybody try it, but if you want to reach levels of consciousness, I've meditated. I don't like to use guided meditation. That guided meditation really, really scares me. And I've had bad experience with guided meditation. Basically like having somebody else inside my head. Yeah. So, I just put on regular meditation music and then I meditate myself. So if you want to reach levels of consciousness or open up your eyes, your spiritual eyes, it's going to take you down a dark path at first. You're going to reach it's called shadow work or spirituality. Through spirituality, you can reach dark paths first. And like I said, that's sometimes, and that's not always the case. Let me not even say that's going to happen. That's not always the case. Sometimes you might not reach that part. Sometimes it might be later down the road you do or something like that. The parts of yourself that are hidden or the brain tries to like pretty much put you in a fear state. And it's like, yeah, it's like your brain puts you in a fear state. So if you can try to get through those scary parts, those scary bits, and try to get out the other side, sometimes it's hard, and I'm not going to lie, it's scary. But you got to remember that you're a strong being. You're a strong being. You're a strong entity. You're a strong God. And if you believe in that, down to your soul, down to your spirit will fight for you. Your spirit will fight for you. And another thing too, I think that there's a shadow self, which is talked about a lot in spirituality. The shadow self is basically, like I said, the darker version of you. The version of you. So let's say you have a light and a shadow. A light self is what you portray. You can either portray normally your light or normally your shadow. Or if you're very, very good at harnessing both sides or controlling both sides, then you can pretty much flip a switch between the two. And the shadow side is basically the opposite of your light side. Or the shadow side is everything you suppressed or don't like about yourself, and the light is more of a light version. I mean, it's whatever you believe it is. I don't want to suggest what it is for you, but it's whatever you think. So if you think that the shadow self is something to be not mess with, then you leave it alone. And then if you think that the light self is something that you should mess with or you should be, then you take in the light. But either or. The shadow self, in my opinion, the shadow self is something that is either like, to me, it's more like a suppression thing, something hard to look at, something that I fight within myself. It's like the opposite version of me, like of my light, but it's like more of a darker state, like real darker. And the villain to my light, but not in a bad way, more like in a, like if I was to become my shadow self, I wouldn't be exactly who I am now. I'd be a totally different person. And I think that I don't technically like that part of myself, and that's why I keep it in the shadow, because I don't like it. I don't want to look at that part. I don't want to be that part of me. So I keep it in the shadow. But in the shadows is that part of me. And that could be everything. Like that could be the fear part of me. That could be like the rude part of me. That could be the part of me that you know, that the secrets, the part of me that has secrets and stuff. So it's like I try every now and then to collide with my shadow or try to befriend my shadow, but I feel like the light part of me is the majority of what shows. And I guess if you're not following, basically in spirituality, there's a light, dark, and then there's a you. There's the you that is controlling them. So it's really complicated, but not that complicated if you think about it. If you think about it, think about like a stage. And there's two versions of you. There's one that's all covered in light, and then there's one that's all covered in darkness. And they're performing on the stage, but you're actually sitting in the crowd, in the seats, watching them perform and giving them choosing to tell them what to do. If you get that analogy, then you're understanding spirituality and how powerful it is for a consciousness, to obtain higher consciousness. You have to know that you're either playing the part of the light, you're playing the part of the dark, or you're playing the part of the person who's controlling them. And if you're the person that's controlling them, then there you go. You pretty much are winning. Anyways, this was really, really, really deep. But I'm glad you guys followed with me. I hope that I didn't take you too deep. But if you followed with me, then you followed with me. If you got it, you got it. If not, then I guess not. But don't be afraid of your mind. Your spirit is stronger than that. I love you guys. Spread love. Think for yourself. Live free. Mwah. Good night, you guys.